It's a beautiful evening for the 5th episode of Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. Starring Adama and Ty, the Sugar Gliders, and 14-year-old Reggie Winters, also an unbelievable 51 Sugar Glider rescue. Let's get this shindig started. Here's Patrick.
Good evening and welcome to the 5th episode of Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. That was awkward, wasn't it, Emily?
That's right, Patrick.
Let's get started with
Bonza Product of the Month.
this month's recipient is Jill Marie Chambers, owner of Bosom Buddy Creations, for her healthy homemade Sugar Glider cookie treats. Jill sent me some samples, I gave them to my gliders, and boy did they love them. Jill did all the research to make a real healthy treat for the Sugar Gliders. You can go on her website and check out all the things, like if you care about calcium ratios and all that kind of stuff, she lists it. It's good for your gliders and they love it. It's so fun to watch these boys eat these cookies, and guess what? I like them too. Congratulations, Jill Marie Chambers of Bosom Buddy Creations, for winning
Bonza Product of the Month.
Bonza Product of the Month is not an advertisement. If you have a glider product that you would like to be considered for Bonza Product of the Month, email Patrick at slotjaw@aol.com. Our first interview is with a 14-year-old young man named Reggie Winters. He makes his own glider products. He ships them off to you. He's got his own website. He also does a thing called Glider Talk. Let's check out the interview. We're going to start out with 14-year-old Reggie Winters. How you doing, Reggie?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Good. So what got you into sugar gliders? What's the very first time you saw one, and what did you think?
The very first time I saw a sugar glider was at a flea market in Ohio. I instantly fell in love with them. The lady had a little mosaic and a little white face glider, and she told me all this stuff about them, and I fell in love with them. I didn't even think of one for about 3 more years until I was 13. I was educated on them for roughly 6 months, and I got a pair of females from a respected breeder.
So you started the thing in December called Glider Talk. What is it?
Glider Talk is an online talk and chat for anybody in the Sugar Glider community. We will sit down on a computer video chat and we'll all talk about sugar gliders, and it's the most fun thing to do in the world. In the past talks we have talked about different diets and also different cages and safe sewing and different things that relate to sugar gliders and that people need to know more about than just online research. There's no set rule book on sugar gliders, and a lot of people get confused since there's so many different ways to do things. We wanted to educate people on many different varieties of care and different ways to care for sugar gliders instead of just one strict rule that this one person goes by.
If somebody wants to check out Glider Talk, what do they do? Like, how do they sign up?
You can register and check out our schedule on www.glidertalk.com, and you can contact either Jen or me via email at staff@glidertalk.com.
If you're a teenager, what do you think about teenagers and kids owning sugar gliders?
Sugar gliders and teenagers or children isn't usually a good combo. And this is coming from a teenager's perspective. Sugar gliders would be a good pet for a parent and would be great to have a child socialize with them with parental guidance and with a parent always with them, just because sugar gliders are so fragile. They're not like a dog or a cat that you can cuddle with. They're really more of a pet that you should always be really careful with. Teenagers should not purchase a sugar glider until they are fully committed to it and can take care of it. Please do your research. I did my research for over 6 months and I am still learning.
And you also started Dayton Gliders, and you're hand making stuff yourself, is that right? Like, what are you doing?
Dayton Gliders is my company that I started back in late 2011, and I make and sell sugar glider products. I'm a vendor of cage sets, bonding pouches, and individual cage set pieces, as well as a large vendor of Raptor wheels. Each of my products are also guaranteed to be safe, and I check each of my products before they go out my door.
Your questions get answered on Ask Peggy.
Are wood perches safe in a sugar glider's cage? That's from Tiffany Lynn Wells.
Wooden perches and cages, can you have them? Sure you can, as long as they're not cedar. You want absolutely no cedar wood in your cages. Very toxic to any kind of small animal. Pine dowel rods that are used in bird cages can be used in sugar glider cages. However, they do absorb a lot of smell. They're not going to cause any deaths if the glider chews on them. Many people get this confused with pine shavings, because pine shavings as well as cedar shavings are a big no-no to use in the bottom of a sugar glider's tray lining. The shavings have what's called phenols in them, which can cause respiratory issues, liver issues, and kidney issues.
Next up is an amazing story about 51 sugar gliders being rescued from poor conditions. I'm going to talk to Cora and Jerry. First off, we're going to ask you the typical question I always ask everybody. Cora, where did you see your first sugar glider and what did you think?
Well, I saw my first sugar glider at a nursing home I was working at 8 years ago, and I bought her as an impulse buy for $75 with a little Custom Works cage, and I thought she was meaner than the Dickens. And she was eating guinea food and rabbit food. Now, 8 years later, she's very healthy.
Same question, Jerry. How about you?
The first sugar glider that I ever saw was at a large flea market. We were just walking around, and a guy had it and was doing the whole thing where they toss them up in the air and let them glide to somebody else. And kind of like Cora, it was an impulse buy. And I fell in love with them, and I've been dealing with gliders ever since.
So let's get down to the story. You guys rescued over 50 sugar gliders. What's the story with that?
Well, a lady named Danielle, she heads up the railroad for the states. She called me, a lady called her that had cancer, and she told her that she had 2 cages of sugar gliders that needed to be rehomed. And so I said, okay, you know, I can help with that. It's 3 hours away. And when I finally got a hold of the lady on the internet via email, she said, in fact, she did have 2 cages, but they had at least 10 sugar gliders in there, if not more. She did not even know how many, sugar gliders that she had. So I called Jerry. I knew Jerry was a rescue, and he was just as crazy as me. So he met me down there, and sure enough, we could tell right away there was clearly at least 20 gliders, if not more.
As far as deciding who took which cage or took which gliders, I think we just it just happened how it happened. She took the ones she took, and I took the ones I took. We didn't go through them or anything because we knew we were there to help the animals. So it didn't really matter which ones either of us got.
So after you guys both took a cage, was the previous owner there at the time?
Yes, she was. Yes, Cherry was home. She was outside when we drove up. She was very, visibly upset that she had to rehome what she called her babies. But she said that she had cancer, and she's a young woman in her 40s, and that she probably wasn't going to be around much longer. So she needed to get them rehomed. We didn't talk a whole lot about me and Jerry, who was taking what, because we didn't want to, upset her in any way. She was already upset that we were going to neuter them. Neutering was not on her list of things to do, and I guess she didn't believe in it. But she went ahead and she let us have them anyway. So we get in the cars with our gliders and our cages, and Jerry calls me about 10 minutes later, and he says, "There's roaches in the cages," and of course my car by this time is just filled with them. So they had been living off of roaches and cat food at her house.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Cora, when I talked to you on the phone previously, you mentioned the color, they were red. What was the condition of the sugar gliders?
Red. It's normally a sign of a bad diet.
Once we got their diets, got them on good diets and everything, their colors started to gray out, and they look a lot better. They've filled out. Many of them were very petite gliders, very thin, and they're starting to fill out really well.
So you guys had some help from the community. Tell me about that.
Well, We've done a lot of fundraisers. We've had a lot of donations. The community's really stepped up and helped with pouches, custom-made pouches for large colony, because these colonies, they work so well together that they like to be together, and they would literally pile all 20 something gliders would pile into one small pouch when we first got them. They wouldn't go into separate pouches, so the community got together, and some people have donated pouches and whatnot that were custom made, that were 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times the normal size of pouches, and they're called colony pouches. And so we've been really blessed to receive a lot of donations as far as pouches and cage sets and toys, and wheels and stuff like that for them.
And I will say we had those items within days of receiving the gliders in. Within days. The community had stuff to us. It was just amazing. Yogurt drops, monies for neuters. I mean, within days.
Tell me about the cages they're in.
The community came together again. There was about 7 people that came on New Year's Day, and they helped me build a 6x6 enclosure from PVC pipe and landware cloth and zip ties, and they can glide around in there. It's 6 foot tall, 6 foot wide. It's got a walk-in door where I can just go in there and care for them and trim their nails and feed them and do whatever I need to do to them without having to take them out of that cage.
All right, so let me get your contact information for the viewers. Cora, where can people reach you? I know you make toys and stuff like that, and you're also, rescue. So where can people find you?
At Facebook, under Cora's Gliders, or on my free website. My name there is angelfish_37, or you can just simply call me at 903-808-1142.
Jerry, you also do rescues, and you create sugar glider cage bling, I think. Where can people find you?
You can reach me on Facebook under Dub Hudgens, or you can always just give me a call at 469-547-1114, and that's my business line.
Well, thanks for sharing this nice story, and glad to have you both on the show.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Where's the best place online to get good glider information? That's from Matthew Toole.
Where can you find good information on sugar gliders? Well, there's many different avenues out there you can take. You've got a lot of sugar glider forums, and you've got Facebook groups. Let's say you're looking for different categories such as bonding, or housing, or diets. You can find those on Facebook groups, but many times they're either often deleted, or they're so far buried underneath you're never able to find them. If you visit a forum called Glider Central, you can find that at www.glidercentral.net. You can find many different threads going on. They've each got their own separate section. There's also a search function, and tons of members there that are always ready to help answer any questions you may have.
Here's another Adama Bond, getting back to basics.
This month on Adama Bond, guess what we're going to learn? We're not going to learn anything. We're just going to have fun. Actually, that's a big part of the bonding process, is having fun. And so far, for these last 4 months or so, I've been teaching the boys how to jump to me, and how to stay with me, and how to go outside, and how to do all kinds of things. But are they having fun? I'm not too sure about it. Yeah, when I open the cage door at night, Ty always jumps to me first and pretty quickly. Adama, a little bit slower. He kind of walks over. He'll sniff my hand. Sometimes he'll want to crawl on. Sometimes he'll want to jump behind the wheel. And maybe it's because they need more fun. And this whole month leading up to this Adama Bond, I think I've made some really good progress, because I'm getting some affection from these boys that I wasn't getting before. Ty likes to have his head rubbed. He likes to have his back rubbed. Adama really doesn't like to be fondled in with too much like that. He just pretty much wants to hang out. And he's really reliable. I can trust him to stay on me and climb in my pocket and stay there and not get into any mischief. Ty, on the other hand, when I have him with me, he is definitely curious, and he likes to climb down my leg and get on the floor and see what he can find, and that's a little dangerous if you want to take your sugar gliders places. So what I've been doing this month is finding toys and just having a lot of us time, not so much trying to have them do anything other than just interact with me, because I think that's the missing element, what I've been missing this whole time. Just fun interaction for no other reason than just being friends. Since I've been taking Ty with me more often now that he is a little bit more trustworthy, he won't jump off me. But I have noticed something really different about him than Adama. His nails are like razor sharp pins compared to Adama. Yeah, they're sharp. All sugar gliders' nails are sharp, and you can cut them and trim them, and sandpaper or whatever you're gonna do. But Ty's nails, I haven't cut them. They break the skin, and I don't know if it's just the grip or the nails, but man, he can cause some serious agony. So yeah, I gotta get a little nail clipper kit and deal with him. I don't feed these boys mealworms. But I do like to let them try everything, and I gave Adama a couple mealworms, and he seemed to really enjoy them, and the footage was too cute, so I had to share it with you. Maybe not so cute for the mealworm, but it was definitely, if you like to watch these guys eat, because that's really a lot of the fun, is just watching them eat. I understand why people make certain foods every night special for their critters, because it's just so fun to watch them be excited about their food and hold it in their hands and all that kind of stuff. If you were to ask me last month, I would say Adama and Ty have the Stone Cold Steve Austin rule of friendship with me. It's like, Patrick, we like you. Not very much, but we like you. And this month, no, we're a lot friendlier. Things are going real well. So I think just giving them a break a little bit from regimented training to let's just sit here and play with this stupid plastic ring or something like that, and that's done a lot of good. So never forget the fun, because sugar gliders are fun, aren't they? So anyway, we'll see you next month on Adama Bond.
Thanks for watching Awake All Night, the Sugar Glider Show. I'm Emily, the Sheila from Down Under. See you again, April 8th. Good night, you little critters.